On this episode of the Turnbuckle, there's more potential, I guess, rumors. Oh my god, is it a rumor? It's not a rumor. Teases, there we go. There's more teases of Bray Wyatt returning to Raw. Malachi Black is taking time off to recalibrate and rethink and reorganize himself. And Triple H thinks it would be irresponsible if WWE went back to using blood. Also, I give my review of Raw. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to hit a rose play into some wrestling news because it's time for the Turnbuckle. During Monday's show, Austin Theory was shown backstage near a QR code. When the QR code was scanned, it took viewers to a WWE.com page where a white rabbit was shown playing a game of Hangman. The question brought forth during the game was, who killed the world? With the answer being revealed as you did. The video ended with 9:23. Friday's Smackdown will take place on September 23rd in Salt Lake City, Utah. Since last Friday's Smackdown, the song White Rabbit by Jefferson Starship was played during commercial breaks. The song also played during weekend house shows, and once again playing during a commercial break during Monday's Raw. Speculation regarding who may be behind the White Rabbit song is pointed to Bray Wyatt, who was released from WWE back in July 2021. Dave Meltzer reported earlier this month that there were definitely talks in that direction regarding a Wyatt return to the company. So it sounds like it's more than likely going to be Wyatt. Can you fucking imagine if it wasn't? Just follow me along here. Can you imagine if it was like some new guy or something, like a completely different debut of a character? Can you imagine if it was Karrion Kross? Like, just imagine if it was anything but Bray Wyatt. How would the crowd react? I feel like it's got to be someone good, like fucking EC3 has to be behind this. Man, if it's someone like that the WWE universe just like doesn't want, or something, like if it was like fucking Arya Daivari or something, like they would turn on it immediately, which is kind of shitty if you really think about it because of all the detail and the level of care that's going into this. You know what I mean? So I feel like the crowd would turn on it because it's something that they would want. Right? Like, we want it to be Bray. Okay, but it was never Bray. Okay, but we wanted it to be Bray. And because it's not Bray, we're going to take a fat shit on it. Okay, but I never explicitly said that it was going to be Bray. I never said that. So, you can't get mad at me. You're mad because you wanted it to be... You wanted the pink iPhone. I got you the white iPhone. It's still the iPhone. You're just mad because it's not the color that you wanted. I would love for it to be someone other than Bray because I am a child of chaos, you know, on certain days. You know, sometimes I wake up and you know what I mean? I fucking take my allergy medicine and I have my bacon with cream cheese and I go about my business, all right? Other days I wake up and sometimes I just want to flip the fucking table and just watch everybody just fucking loses their minds about it. Because sometimes, okay, sometimes it's fun. In certain instances, in certain scenarios, it's fun. However, that is not really my MO throughout the entire day. So if you notice, as the rabbit is jumping around, when he's choosing the letters, it spells out the word demon, and then X-I-Y, or like X, isn't it? It's like X-I-U or something like that. Like he does an X, and then it's an I, right? Yeah, he goes X, and then I, and then U. And then he goes Y. And then that's when it ends. And then he's hopping around. And then it blinks white. And then it blinks blue. Which, you know, obviously is for Smackdown. Also, so there's two other things. Somebody was walking across the crowd with a QR code at exactly 9:23, apparently. I didn't notice this. Because apparently this was happening during the tag match with Brawling Brutes and the Street Profits. Apparently this happened. I didn't notice this. I mean, I feel as though I would have noticed it if I was actually watching it live, and I wasn't. So I was watching like a couple highlights in here and there. So I guess they never really... Or you know what? You know something? They probably fucking did. They probably were walking across the screen and I just didn't notice. I have no idea. The point is, it happened and I had no fucking clue about it until today. What else? It was that. And also, I'm probably going to put a picture of it. There was the poster for Extreme Rules. It's specifically the poster with Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins because it was announced yesterday that they're going to be having a match at Extreme Rules in the Fight Pit. So if you look, okay, it's Riddle's right shoulder. It's Riddle's right shoulder. It's on your left. It's your left, but it's Riddle's right shoulder. Look on Riddle's right shoulder and look up. It's like, oh, it's not like in the corner. You're looking for a lantern. You're looking for Bray Wyatt's lantern. Look on Riddle's right shoulder and then look up a little bit, and you should see Bray Wyatt's lantern. That was another thing that everybody was, well, not everybody, but that was another thing that Wrestling Observer was talking about, where they were like, here's another hint that Bray Wyatt could be coming back. Up until that point, I was like, it could be Ray. It could be Ray. It could be Rey Mysterio. We don't know. Bro, can you fucking imagine? If it's not Bray, it's got to be someone just as fucking, like, good. And not good as in, like, good in wrestling. I just mean, like, someone who isn't not on the same level, but someone who, like, if it was someone else, everyone would be like, all right, fine. Like when, I don't fucking remember his name. It was the 49ers or something. And then he got taken off, and then Garoppolo came on, and everybody was like, all right, it's Garoppolo. I mean, obviously we want him to make a speedy recovery, but come on, it's Garoppolo. You know what I mean? It's like if, like, Hurts got injured, and then Nick Foles came out and be like, all right, it's all right. I feel as though that if it's not going to be Bray Wyatt, it's got to be somebody of that caliber. But now that the whole lantern teaser thing is now canon, I mean, or maybe that could just be like one of the listen. That could just be a random background image that they use to fill it in. Because you're not even supposed to be looking at that. You're supposed to be looking at Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. So maybe that's just a bunch of filler. Maybe that's not even Bray Wyatt. Maybe that's just a lantern. You know what I mean? Maybe we're just speculating a bunch of gobbledygook, a bunch of nonsense, right? Who knows? Oh, man, okay. I don't want them to go to SmackDown and then it's just another tease to Raw. Like, I don't want them to keep pushing this out. You set the date. Meaning that is on 9/23, something has to happen. Some sort of expositional type of, like, moment has to take place. Even if the Fiend doesn't show up, there needs to be some type of, like, okay, is he going after a wrestler? You know what I mean? Is like, there needs to be some sort of like progression to what is going on, because if it's just that thing where it's like, oh man, do you remember when they were like, oh, Roman's coming to Raw. Here we go. And then Roman came to Raw, and he was like, watch SmackDown. And then he left. Like, if it's like that, then fuck you. Do you think it's going to happen at 9/23 on 9/23? Oh, we gotta wait. Speaking of waiting, Malachi Black is taking time off to recalibrate his life. This is not goodbye. Following the House of Black's loss to Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro at All Out, Black blew kisses to the crowd and waved as if he was done with the promotion. Tony Khan would not answer questions about Black's status afterward. I can't read. Black returned to action for the first time since then on Saturday. At the time of this recording, that was last Saturday. Okay. Where am I? Help. Picking up a win over Kid Bandit for Pomona, California's Prestige Pro Wrestling. He then took the mic for 2 minutes and then said that he understands there are a lot of questions and that he will answer them in due time. But he asked fans to give him a few months to recalibrate myself. I promise you that this is not goodbye. This is, we will see each other soon. He said that in 22 years, he hasn't taken a step back and recalibrated his life either inside or outside the ring. He's had blinders on and thought globally and not locally when it comes to his career, and that's what got him to come to the U.S. in the first place. While neither Black or AEW have clarified what is happening, a report emerged recently that the two sides either worked out a highly conditional release or that he is done with AEW for the foreseeable future. I would chalk it up to him just sort of like being in this business for a very, very, very long time and not really sitting. I would argue it's him not like doing it just outright and him not having enough time to do it, to really sit down and be like, all right. What am I doing? Why do I want to do this? Who am I doing this for? You know what I mean? If you don't have enough time out of the day to answer those questions, if you don't have enough time to really like sit and really like ask yourself, is this what I want to do? Why do I want to do this? Who am I doing this for? You know what I mean? If you can't answer those questions, it's gonna fuck you up. It's going to. You need direction. For some of you, you don't need direction. That's fine. But for others, they would prefer if there was like some type of like footpath that they could go on, right? And I feel as though, now this is just me, okay? You can shoot me, I don't give a shit, all right? I'm just going off of what I'm hearing, right? I would argue that Malachi was sitting in his RV, right? And he was thinking to himself, man, I'm doing all this stuff, right? My body hurts. I've been on the road for a very long time. What am I really doing this for? You know what I mean? Do I I really want to be doing this? Yes. Okay. Why do I want to be doing this? I haven't figured that question out yet. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Who am I doing this for? Well, at first I was doing it for this person, and now I don't think I'm doing it for that person anymore, which is perfectly fine. Are you doing it for yourself, or are you doing it for so-and-so? I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet, which, again, is perfectly fine. These are questions that you need to answer yourself. You got to ask. You have to ask these questions. You have to. You need some type of, you need the groundwork. You need it. If you're going out and you're doing stuff like this, there's these types of questions need to be asked. All right, you need to look yourself in the mirror every morning. And you need to ask yourself, I can't, no, because we're going to be here all night. I was going to make a joke, and I don't want to do it. It wasn't a bad joke. It was just going to be a stupid joke, and I don't feel like going off of that tangent. Okay, we're going to be here for fucking ages. He needs to recalibrate. He said, this isn't goodbye. This is just, we will see each other soon. I just need just give me a sec. Relax. Back up. Back up more. All right. Look, there's a turn. All right. Sit down. Relax. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to figure myself out. I'm going to step on the sauna. I'm going to let the pores cry. I'm going to come back out. I'm going to take a deep breath. Maybe I'll go back in the sauna. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, hey, higgledy-piggledy, you know, it doesn't matter. He's his own man. Some of you are like, what? He's his own man. He's allowed to do whatever he feels as though it's right for his life, for his body, for his mind, okay? Because if your mind is not in it, your heart is not in it. And if your heart's in it, but your mind isn't in it, all right? That's pretty much the same goddamn thing. So I completely respect that Malachi Black is looking at this, and he's going, you know what? Give me a second. All right, I got to figure this out. I got to look at the tapes. I got to read the tapes over. You know what I'm saying? I got to read the dirt sheets. You know what I mean? All right. Maybe I got to get kicked out of a bar once or twice just to come back. Just to snap back to reality and then realize, oh, there goes gravity. He's been doing this for a very long time. A very long time. That is 22 years of him not really either having the time or really sitting down and actually asking himself the question of what am I doing and why am I doing it. That is a long time. So I have no issue with Malachi being like, you know what, I'm done. Okay? And I would argue that if you're one of those people that's like, oh, the Higgledy, oh, Malachi, come back. I want to see you wrestle. Shut up. All right, boys. We're going to move on to Triple H and how he thinks it would be irresponsible for WWE to go back to using blood. It was announced today at the time of this recording. That was, okay, so that was 20 hours ago. Yeah, right. So yesterday. Okay, 20 hours ago. Anyway, numbers, man. In an interview with The Ringer to make the announcement, Levesque said it would be irresponsible to go back to using blading in matches. The world has changed. The world has evolved. I don't think it's necessary, Levesque told The Ringer. If we have talent that gets cut open, usually you'll see them roll out and they'll get looked at to make sure that there's nothing dangerous, Levesque said. Sorry. I'm of the opinion right now, given the state of the world and the pandemic, and at the end of the day, what we do is dangerous enough without intentionally making it more dangerous. Yes, we did feature bleeding for a long period of time, but we've changed that practice, and it's irresponsible to go back. Survivor Series War Games is taking place at the TD Garden in Boston on Saturday, November 26th. There will be a men's War Games match and a women's more games. There you go. There'll be more games at the pay-per-view. Levesque, who took over WWE Creative in July following the retirement of Vince McMahon, told The Ringer that the War Games matches will be storyline driven. We'll have a men's War Games match and a women's War Games match. The tradition of Survivor Series has ebbed and flowed and changed slightly over time, but this will be similar to that, Levesque said. This will not be Raw versus Smackdown. It will be much more storyline driven. I still look at it as a traditional component to Survivor Series in there because it's large teams of people competing. We just upped the ante a little bit with War Games and made it evolve. All right, talking about blading. I know the first person I think of is Ric Flair, where he would go into a match, sneeze, and his entire head would go from a nice platinum blonde. I don't know what platinum blonde looks like. Never mind. He would go from blonde to red. His entire hair would just go completely fucking red. There was the match with John Cena and JBL, I think. Or it was John Cena and somebody else, but John Cena. Yeah, it was John Cena and JBL, where they were just bleeding all over the place. there was the times where the wrestlers would blade and they would cut like a major fucking artery in like their head and they would just start pouring blood. Look up a picture of Devon Dudley. Look up a picture of current day Devon Dudley and look at his fucking forehead, man. Man has fucking divots like he's a goddamn credit card reader. That is what happens when you fucking blade. Okay, I don't know how many wrestlers look like that, but there's definitely a myriad of wrestlers who, if you look at their foreheads, if you look at certain parts of their foreheads, they've got like divots, they've got like lines in their foreheads where they would like slice that part of their head and just start fucking bleeding everywhere. That shit isn't safe, especially in this day and age where getting a very dangerous like illness or disease is very common just because of like how many fucking people are going around and like licking their ass and then touching stuff and then sneezing into their hand and then high-fiving somebody. Like, bro, we are in a day and age now where nobody really gives a flying fuck about germs and nobody believes that germs are a thing, and everybody thinks that every single disease and illness and all type of ailments are the exact same as the common cold until they find out that they're on the fucking deathbed. So I completely agree with Triple H that we don't need to do anything in regards to blading or bleeding, okay? If you bleed hard way, I mean, hard way means like you actually like are bleeding, like something like bopped you upside the head, or like, you know, somebody like punched you, you know, hard enough, you know, like last Monday, like last Monday, not this Monday, last Monday, Austin Theory bled hard way. Like, I'm pretty sure Austin Theory didn't fucking cut a chunk of his nose off, you know? Austin Theory bled hard way. Like, that, when it's that, I'm not gonna, like, complain, but I know that I'm sure it hurts because you're bleeding hard way. Like, you have to, like, hit someone hard enough to draw blood, you know? So, I understand that maybe bleeding a hard way isn't the best idea, but if I had to choose between bleeding a hard way and fucking blading, I would rather bleed hard way, you know what I mean? So I understand that Triple H's like, hey, we're not doing that anymore, okay? Are you fucking crazy? In terms of war games, I like it. I like that it's evolving. I like that they're not necessarily shying too far away from the overall aspect of what Survivor Series is about, right? I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with, I want to say like just going against the grain, right? Taking Survivor Series and turning it into this new thing that is sort of like loosely based off of the old thing, but giving it like this new and modernized, you know, revamp, you know what I mean? So he's like, we're going to keep the same. This will not be Raw versus SmackDown. It will be much more storyline driven. I still look at it as a traditional component to Survivor Series in there because it's large teams of people competing. So we're not just like the Royal Rumble. We're still going to have people enter the ring and then get knocked out, but maybe we shake the rules up a little bit. Maybe the time intervals are different. Maybe we bring, do you remember when they had the 40-man Royal Rumble? Remember that? Jeez Louise, man. We were there for ages, okay? So I like that we're doing something different. You know what I mean? I like that we're doing something new. We're trying some things out. You know what I mean? Maybe he'll do Survivor Series that way, and maybe he won't like it. We have like literally no idea. But in terms of like, hey, you know, let's do this. You know what I mean? Let's try this out. I liked it. You know, I like it. I respect it. You know what I mean? So if Raw and SmackDown and all that sort of stuff is anything to go by, I feel like this year's Survivor Series is going to be absolutely fucking stellar. Speaking of stellar, it's time for the Raw recap. That's right. We started off with Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins. Fantastic match. Lots of near falls. I thought that Seth was going to tap out. Turns out he didn't. Matt Riddle came out, distracted Seth Rollins. Spear, 1, 2, 3. Lashley retains. Good. I don't know. I mean, now, if somebody loses a title, my first thought is, all right, what program are they going to get put into next week? Because I really don't want them to do the thing where the guy loses the title and that's it, and you just don't see them again. I don't like that. I think that if somebody has enough like talent and credibility to lose the title, enough talent and credibility to gain the title and then lose it, they have enough talent and credibility to have something continue on with them and their character after the title is lost, because you don't want people not to forget, but you don't want people to sort of like sour on them and be like, oh, we lost the title, ew, you know what I mean? So, but he retained, and he retained in a way that made sense. And also, I love that there's like no fucking roll-ups. We haven't seen a roll-up in weeks. So now if there is a roll-up, it will make sense. It'll be shocking. It like nobody will get upset. There's not a roll-up every 5 goddamn matches. You know what I mean? Like, they are doing the roll-up fake out thing, which is great. I love when they do that. So that way, when there finally is one, it'll be more meaningful than anything. Okay? Damage Control came out. Ugh. Fuck, man. Golly. I know that it's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. Can we fucking cool it with the what chance? I know it's not going to happen. I know it's not. And you want to know why? Because there will always be that one shithead in the crowd who will start it. And then, because none of the fucking WWE audience has half a fucking brain, they're just going to who what? They're not doing it because they think it's funny. Someone started it, and they just want to feel like they're a part of something. That's all it is. You know how, like, when a studio audience is, like, told to laugh, you ever, like, hear, like, someone's, like, distinct laugh? Apparently, people in the studio audience laugh a certain type of way so they can hear themselves back when they go watch the episode. Yo motherfuckers are not out there doing what chance because you don't like Bayley. You like Bayley. Because if you didn't like Bayley, you'd be fucking saying it all over Twitter. Okay? You'd be saying it all over Reddit. Damage Control is absolutely fantastic. That's not the issue. The issue is that y'all just want to get yourselves over, and that's not gonna fucking happen because you're all a bunch of fucking losers. All right, the what chants are fucking dumb. Absolutely no one likes them. It is universally hated, the what chants. So anytime there's a what chant started, that means that the fucking shithead who started it is trying to be funny. He's trying to fucking shitpost or whatever. He's trying to get on the fucking front page of some bullshit article or some shit. Like, bro, they're not there for you. They are only there for themselves, okay? And you really have no choice but to give them the time of day, because then people start, like, you can, like, not many people are doing it, but you can tell that, like, it grows, and it grows because everyone's like, well, I mean, everyone else is doing it, you know? So, Damage Control came out. They were like, let's go, we're the tag champs. And then Belair, Asuka, and Bliss came out, and then Bayley was like, Bliss, what happened to you? You used to be a killer. And then Alexa was like, I'm still a killer, bitch. Okay, you want to have a match tonight? And then Bayley was like, yeah, sure. Then we had Owens and Austin Theory. Again, a fantastic match. Owens and Austin are just, first of all, they're great in the ring. They're great on the mic. And they have fantastic chemistry. Austin was about to hit Owens. So the finish was Austin was about to hit my man for a... He was about to hit my man. Sorry. Austin was about to hit Owens with the briefcase. Johnny came out. I think Johnny was he was already out there. He took the briefcase, and then Austin got distracted. Pop-up powerbomb, 1, 2, 3. It makes sense. Like, you don't want Austin to lose, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense that he lost because he was like distracted and everything. He was all caught up in that. And then Kevin Patrick asked Riddle about costing Rollins a chance at the U.S. title. Riddle said he gave Rollins some payback and would hunt him down every night until they got a rematch. He looked forward to helping Rey Mysterio get vengeance tonight. He said Finn Balor and Damian Priest used to be cool, but now they look like the goth kids from South Park. Nice. San Francisco 49ers tight end George Kittle was shown on ringside. Cool. There's a video package for Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. Oh, yeah, and then Logan said he's the table. Nice. And then we had the Brawling Brutes. Okay, that's right. So the Brawling Brutes came out. They were cutting a promo. The Street Profits were like, hey, you didn't beat us, bitch. And then a match started. It was great. What happened? Yeah, the Profits tried a double team move, but Butch wrenched Ford's... Oh, yeah, he Ford's fingers, and then he fell off. And then Holland gave Dawkins a power slam. And then Butch kicked him in the head for the pinfall win. Is that their finish? I'm not going to... You know what? I'm not going to say anything. It's like... bleh, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Sarah Schreiber interviewed Rey Mysterio. Rey wished he knew what Dominic was feeling because he could have prevented Judgment Day from warping his mind. He said Edge was out, but he would be back before long. Rey looked into the camera and told Dom that everything he did was for him. He wanted Dom to have the life he never did and to give him a chance to carry on the Mysterio legacy. If he wanted to, Rey was down carry on the Mysterio legacy if he wanted to. Ray was down, but Riddle approached to cheer him up. And then Riddle was like, let's go fuck him up, man. Hey, come on. All right. Fucking teamwork makes that dream work. Okay, and then we had Chad Gable and all this. So the backstage segment. Oh, yeah, and Chad Gable's like, hey, watch yourself, bitch. Okay, we fucks with Austin Theory. All right, so you got a problem with him, you got a problem with us. And then Kevin Owens was like, hey, I like Johnny Gargano. Also, apparently they were in a tag team. Steen and Gargano, apparently they were Panda Express. This is what I'm just learning about this. So Kevin Owens was like, hey, you got a problem with Gargano, you got a problem with me. And then Gargano told Chad Gable to shoosh, and then, Gable was upset. So yeah, there's it's also going to be in Canada. Triple H is the booker, so I'm sure Kevin Owens is going to win. Listen, Otis, Gable, Gargano, and Owens. That match is going to be fucking stellar. It's going to be absolutely psychedelic, and I can't fucking wait to see it, okay? Then we had the Judgment Day promo. So they tried to do a couple what chants, but Finn and Damian, they're masterclasses, all right? They've been dealing with this shit for ages. So they know to just, keep the flow going so that nobody has a time. And also stop randomly in the middle of the sentence so that they're just like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do. If you listen closely, you can hear one or two people try the what chant. And it's like, bruh, just watch the show, man. Fuck. Just, Lord. Anyway, they cut a promo. They were like, we're great. Y'all, hoes mad. Hoes mad. Fucking ratioed. You get no fucking bitches. Fucking copium. The crowd was fucking pissed, okay? Y'all mad because Dom is out here living y'all's fantasy and you're too fucking sweaty and you gotta fucking get a spatula to roll yourself out of the fucking bed so that you can go watch the goddamn show. Y'all are mad, okay? Then we had Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus Mysterio and Matt Riddle. This is a fantastic match. I like the part when Dom was like, hit me, bitch. Hey, you ain't gonna fucking do it. And then he came back in, and then Rey Mysterio. Oh, no. What happened? Seth came out, because it was Matt and, so Matt got beat up by Rhea on the outside. Seth went to go beat the shit out of Riddle, but he couldn't find a chair under the ring, so he grabbed one from the timekeeper's area, and then Ray chased him off, and that's when Dom was like, hit me with the chair, and then he didn't, and then he got beat up, and that's how they lost. Let me see. Rollins and Riddle were in the middle of a pull-apart brawl backstage. After a break, officials managed to separate them as they screamed at each other. Rollins told Riddle he had his rematch whenever and wherever he wanted. Riddle challenged him to a fight pit match at Extreme Rules. Rollins accepted. Jimmy Smith said this was a dangerous match for Rollins to take because Riddle fought for a living. Okay, they're referencing his MMA background because he fought in MMA and then he got released by MMA because he had the ganja. He smokes weed, guys. Matt Riddle loves weed. Hey? He's a smoker. He smokes the ganja. He smokes the marijuanas. He smokes the Mary Janeses. Okay, you get it? Then we had a Miz TV segment. Miz TV was like, God damn it, man. What the fuck is up with Dexter Lumis? And then Dexter Lumis cut a hole in the arena. Yeah, the whole thing. He got a hole in the ring. And then, he popped out. He tried to get The Miz. The Miz fought off. Then he tried to get Tommaso. Tommaso fought off. And then they were like, is he still there? And then he popped out. And then they were like, and then they ran off, pretty much. And then, okay, I like this, actually. So, Kevin Patrick interviewed the Judgment Day. Ripley said it was time to celebrate. Dominic feigned concern for his dad before he started laughing. Oh, yeah, and then he was like, ha, psych. Dom was ready for one of Priest's infamous parties. As they left, they stopped upon seeing AJ Styles. Balor told them he would deal with this alone. Balor asked Styles if he was ducking him because they haven't spoken in weeks. Styles said they haven't spoken since Balor joined Judgment Day and turned his back on him. Balor said he was in Judgment Day, but he never turned on Styles, and he always had his back. Styles wasn't interested in turning his back on the people he cared about like Dominic did, and would in no part of Judgment Day. Balor asked Styles if he was looking for a fight, and they got in each other's faces. Balor quickly laughed that off and gave Styles a hug because they were boys. Balor held up the two sweet signs. Oh yeah, he said the offer still stands, and then he put up the little thing. I mean, sure. I mean, in the back of my mind, I'm like, can we fucking cool it with the goddamn with the Bullet Club thing? But at the same time, it's like you can't really deny that that's how they have the most chemistry. You know what I mean? That's how they know each other the most. So I actually like this. I thought this was really, I really thought this was a good character development for both of them because they know each other, and Styles was like, what happened to you, man? You used to be cool, I really rate that, so, I like that. I'm sure that this is gonna, branch off into something, you know what I mean? I hope it does, because this would be an absolute fantastic start to it. I don't know what it's going to branch off into, but so far, it sounds like this is the start of something really decent. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And then finally, we had Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. This match wasn't too bad. At one point, Bayley slammed Alexa's knee onto the hardest part of the ring. You don't do that. She's just a human being. What is wrong? Have you no shame? That's the hardest part of the entire ring in all of the WWE universe in the history of mankind in front of Lord Jesus and the disciples. What is wrong with you, eh? So she was working her knee, and then Alexa got in control of the match for a little bit. So, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and chalk this up as just like a lighting mishap throughout the, not throughout the match, literally for a split second, the lights went out and they came back on. The lights looked like they were about to go out and then they came right back on again. So maybe somebody spilled their Starbucks on the controls or something, or somebody sneezed and slammed the table and turned back on and then went, oh shit, and then flipped it back up. I mean, I've watched too much AEW, so I'm just I highly doubt that anything happened. The announcers reacted to it, but then they just went right back to what they were doing. They didn't harp on it for too long, which leads me to believe that wasn't supposed to happen, which means it was probably just a mistake. But then, Bayley ended up winning because of a distraction, and then they were beating her down. Asuka came in, or Asuka was fighting back, and then Asuka got the shit beat out of her, and then Bayley hit the rose plant on Bianca and then was like, you and me, Extreme Rules, Raw Women's Championship. I kind of don't want Bayley to win just because you don't want to do that Kenny and the Young Bucks thing where it's oh, of course they have all the titles. Of course they do. Because Triple H loves them. Triple H loves Bayley. So anything that Bayley does, Triple H is going to let her do. I don't want that to happen. I mean, listen. There's nothing wrong with Bayley being the champion. I'm not arguing that. I think it's just the fact that a lot of people are going to get mad in general because they're going to assume that it has something to do with some sort of bias towards Bayley. You know what I mean? And it's because of that it kind of makes me worry that if that does end up happening, then that's the first thing that people are going to jump to. But at the same time, I'm really not going to be opposed to Bayley being the women's champion and Kai and Sky being the tag team champions because, you kind of want a stable like that, especially you want a very hard stable like that to have the gold, which just bolsters them even more. You know what I mean? The heel work, the mic work, the in-ring, ability and stuff like that. They're literally the total fucking package, right? So I mean, you put a team like that together and you give them all the gold, bro, they will take that and they will fucking run with it. The matches will be great. The build-ups will be great. You know what I mean? So it makes sense, but at the same time, I don't want people to take away from the fact that this is a really good, storyline and these are really good characters in spite of the fact that they think that Triple H is specifically doing this because he's just trying to, jerk himself off. You know what I mean? So, boys, that's Raw. All in all, 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Favorite match? What was my favorite matchup? Rollins and Lashley. That was actually a really decent match. Rollins and Lashley was pretty good. All the matches on here were actually fairly decent. I actually liked Riddle and Ray versus Judgment Day. There we go. Okay, but I would argue that my favorite one definitely would have to be Lashley and Rollins. So what did we talk about? Bray Wyatt could potentially be coming to Smackdown. 9/23, okay? Who killed the world? You did, you son of a bitch. All right. Malachi Black is taking time off to recalibrate himself, which is fine. Let him do his thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Let him ask the questions, all right? He's his own man, and he's allowed to do it. And Triple H thinks that bleeding is fucking weird, champ, okay? And I completely agree, because I'm not trying to have your fucking... I'm not trying to have any of your fucking nonsense inside of me, man. That's how it happens. Your blood in my body? No, that's how I get sick. That's how I get fucking Literal, isn't that how I get like an STD? Like, bro, I'm not trying to like do any of that, man. I'm not for any of that. Okay. Also, Survivor Series might be changing up a bit going forward. I'm all for it, and I can't wait to see what they do. And Raw gets a 4 out of 5, and I love Lashley versus Rollins, folks. That's gonna do it for this episode of the Turnbuckle. I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody who stopped by. Hopefully, everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. And as always, big hugs all around.